Good morning again. Dan with Bent Out of Shape, your do-it-yourself metal art resource. Sue's behind the camera. Today we are going to take scrap LP tanks, gas grill tanks, that you can get from virtually any LP supplier. They'll have tanks that they just can't use anymore. Make sure you get them with the top taken off. Fill them with water before you do any prepping, grinding, or welding on them. And let me show you what you can do to make these crazy little pumpkins. So this one was in really bad shape. So the bottom was rotted right off. So I took a barbell weight, welded that to the bottom. Now you got a good base on it at least. The top didn't come off of this one anymore. By the time I got done welding and fixing, it was a permanent fixture. But on this one, I just took a 1/2-inch nut and bolt, and we're gonna weld that into the bung here, and that bolt will come out. So we're gonna make two different kinds of stems. We're gonna make a rebar stem, similar to this, and this is an old oil spout. If you're as old as me, you remember the old cardboard oil cans that they used to poke these babies in, and that'll be able to thread in and out of there. So, I'm gonna put the hood on, weld that nut in there first, and make a couple spouts, and then we're gonna go outside and paint it later, and Sue will come back for the second phase of filming. I'm gonna find my gloves, dear. I lost my gloves. Here they are. One important thing you're gonna wanna do is cut this off with a 4-inch grinder. This is the top. 4-inch or 9-inch grinder, but again, before you make that first initial spark, fill the darn things with water. You know for sure they're dead. Sparks and vapors do not mix. So we're gonna weld this up quick. Okay, hopefully the nut, still comes off. Or the bolt, I should say, still comes off. Okay, so this one we're going to make a rebar stem. And there's no rhyme and reason, just bend it till it looks like a stem. And I pre-bent a couple, but we'll have to bend a couple more. Yeah, this one I should trim off just a touch. So we're gonna trim this. Sorry, Sue, I gotta have you back up a touch. You want to keep making sure it turns as you go so you don't run into an issue. I'm going to cut a little bit off of this one too. Okay, now we're going to take a couple more 6-inchers.
I went when he's dealing with his rebar, we pre-cut a bunch of the rebar to different sizes so that it's readily available for all of his projects. Just makes it more efficient.
Yeah. You can't stress that enough to have things cut symmetrical, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch. You always know what you're reaching for then. It helps. Unless you got all day to do one project, it helps streamline things. Okay, we're going to put a leaf on there. That should come off like another box. We're going to add a little more weld quick. Maybe a touch of grinding on there. So I think I have another LP tank around here somewhere. That's why I'm making a second handle. So you can see you don't always have to do same old, same old. You can get creative. These oil spouts are getting harder and harder to come by, but they just have a different look when you're doing something like this. And they're galvanized so they don't weld the best. A little bit bigger leaf to give it a little more attitude. Up a little. We're going to take this off, add some weld to it. And if you ever do this and it gets cross-threaded, well, then you got a pumpkin that the handle doesn't come off. It's as simple as that. It's not the end of the world. Pretty flimsy, but it's a nice looking handle. I may trim that up slightly here. There you go. Two different handles. We'll get them both painted up when we get outside here in a little bit. And then you'll see, once we get the painting done, we add two different faces. You get the mean face, you get the happy face. That can be done so many different ways on your Cricut or whatever you got to do vinyl. You can paint something on there too. So, if you like what you see, you like this kind of content, we'll keep doing it for you. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Okay, welcome back for the second half of the LP tank pumpkin project. First thing I did, I came out and I primed it with this Rust-Oleum Stops Rust Rusty Primer. It's good stuff, it's very forgiving, and it's a great way to get a good base on something. So what I'm going to do is put a light coat of orange on the pumpkin first, because it's going to need numerous coats. So while that's drying a little bit, then I'll paint up the handles, and then we'll go back and finish the pumpkin. So I got to get suited up here a little bit. Lots of paint.
And the oranges that you use are not anything in particular. It's just the Rust-Oleum paints.
The first thing I do is the Stops Rust Orange. That's the base coat. It adheres the best to the Rusty Primer.
Okay, and then he can go to the 2X. And we like painting outside because we can go with the wind. That's the orange. We'll start with the bottom so that we can flip it. We recommend wearing latex gloves to save your skin. And a mask even though we're outside for the paint fumes. And you want to make sure you don't get runs, so be cautious and pay attention when you're painting.
Now we do a little espresso.
So now he's going to switch over to the handles. And we
And I made
use
this jig. Welded some nuts on to make a jig. It's just so easy to paint.
We're going to start with Satin Espresso. And this is a 2X paint.
Dark hunter green.
Dark hunter green for the leaf. And you will have overspray onto the handle, but that's okay, onto the stem.
Touch that up. Okay. Nutmeg.
Nutmeg is the lighter brown that you'll see on the stems. And then Joshua Tree, which he'll do some highlighting on the leaves. And again, this is a discontinued color. And then we'll do gloss clear coat. And again, we recommend at the end of the season when you bring your products in that we have painted or that you paint, that you rinse them off good and let them dry, and then you give them a coat of clear coat again. That just keeps your colors nice.
Okay. Now we're going to go for real orange.
Now he's going to switch back to the pumpkin and he's going to use the 2X Real Orange.
It's going to get a lot brighter.
And then I think he'll go with a paprika.
No, that's fire orange.
Oh, fire orange, satin fire orange.
So when the cans tell you light coats, that's the answer. Don't try to do it all in one coat, all in one color. And this is just going to add different shadowing. Now a touch of paprika, which is here somewhere. But it's just darker, almost red. And then, of course, the clear.
And then a good coat of clear coat again.
So that's how you can repurpose an old LP tank that you got for nothing with just minimal welding. Couple kinds of paints. You can't just do it with one color. You gotta blend it to make it really look good. And then tomorrow we'll add those decals like you see on that pumpkin. It's got to sit 24 hours to really do a good job. We'll put the handle on it, and it's good to go. It's a nice front porch decoration. So if you like this kind of content, keep following, like and subscribe to our channel. We'll keep doing these kind of projects. Thanks for following.